It's finally here, the video you've all been waiting for and probably searching for, and hopefully you haven't found yet, because this is the definitive guide to getting the micro cement finish you've always wanted.
And even I can do it.
That's true. That's true.
Sorry, I spooked you there.
You
when
did.
I talked. First thing you're going to want to do is clean the bathroom.
Well, I thought wouldn't it be nice to give a little more intro, a little more context, or you want to get right into the
nitty gritty. Tell people how to do it.
Okay, so the cool thing about this micro cement kit from Smartcret is that they provide you with primers to prime porous and non-porous surfaces. So that means that you can actually micro cement right over wall tile. So like in this case, if the shower area has wall tile on it, you don't need to remove it. You can actually fill the grout joints with the filler they provide, and that basically makes it so you'll never see those grout joints again. So when you trowel over that with your micro cement, you don't see any lines. It's a smooth surface just like any other wall, which is really unique, and that makes this kit very, very practical. So once that's done, you prime it up, which this primer has a little bit of tack. It's got some grit in it, and that makes the cement stick even better. Is it cement?
I don't know, but this part, now we've switched, while we're waiting for those joints to dry, I went and I primed the drywall section, the absorbent part of the room.
Right.
So tell me about that.
Well, that's what you did.
And I did a good job of it. I kissed the bottle, and then next thing you know, that sucker's all primed up.
That's right. So put that milky stuff on the wall, and then every step of this process involves a gentle sanding afterwards. They do provide you with a hand sanding pad and different grits to sand with, but if you know us, we prefer to use the automatic sander.
Dustless version.
Dustless. That's the key. That's why we do that. It's not because we're lazy. The next step is to use a grippy primer. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. It's all in Spanish, so we don't really know, but this is for the non-absorbent stuff for tile. So that's all dry, sanded.
Right, so you previously had primed the porous surface with a specific primer, and now this one is for the non-porous surfaces.
Exactly, and Smartcret,
that's a really creepy face you just made there.
Well, I'm a creepy guy. And Smartcret provides all this stuff for you, so you sort of let them know they have these kits available for you. So tell them about this part.
No, that is a good point, though. It's a sort of a one-stop shop. You get everything you need for your given project in the kit, and once we told them what we were doing, they sent us the stuff for the shower tile and for the regular drywalled surfaces. So at this point, it's about putting the smart base on everything, right? It's about two coats at least of the smart base.
Yeah, with a bit of sanding in between. But
always sanding in between.
But that's exactly it. You trowel on sort of as smoothly as you can, 2 coats of the smart base over both primed or all primed surfaces.
Yeah, and it's an interesting point, because when we first started applying it, we weren't really sure whether we were trying to get it smooth, or because when you look at it when it's finished, it does have a sort of a rough, or at least you can see the trowel marks in it. That's kind of part of its beauty. And so we were wondering if we were supposed to be adding those in like we have with some of our other finishes, or if we were trying to get it perfectly smooth. And I think the answer is try to get it as smooth as you can.
The base part for sure, and it's a bit like art. You'll see areas that maybe show more imperfections than others, but the more coats you do, the more sanding you do, you sort of get a feel for what you want this to look like in the end, because you use a different product. This is the second coat of the base that we're showing now, but later on you use sort of a top coat. But just put this on as smoothly as you can, and do your best to get it all in one sort of pass, because you can't go back and touch it up. It'll kind of flash. Yeah,
that's probably important to mention, is you're always trying to keep a wet edge going. So it's not like painting where you can kind of touch up spots as you go. You kind of want to keep it going in one general direction. It's sort of like one living creature that you're flowing across the room.
It's homogeneous.
It's homogeneous when you do it properly.
So at this point, it's all done. We've sanded it down. We kind of retape in between every section, because we don't want to get all over the walls and all over a dry or wet section. So now we're putting on what's called the Smart Liso, which is the top coat. This is what's going to give you some waterproof qualities. This is much smoother, less aggregate, and then you do finer sanding in between the coats of this. Again, the same principle, troweling it on as smoothly as you can, and then you'll be left with some natural imperfections from the troweling.
This stuff is interesting. It's a slightly different finish than the base. We actually ended up really liking the look of the base. It's a sort of like open cell, porous, rougher feel, whereas this stuff is very, very smooth and almost glassy when you sand it down, and especially when you seal it.
Yeah, so we ended up doing a 3rd coat of the base on the walls, which you saw us do there, and then this is me doing the 2nd coat of the liso, the top coat in the shower area, because this is going to need to get polished. It's going to need to be sealed, and that will give you the waterproof factor.
So just to clarify what we did in this room, the shower area has several coats of the Smart Liso, which is the sort of smoother, slightly shinier finish. The other half of the room is several coats of the Smart base, which we left and then sealed later. So you seal everything essentially, and that does give it a slight sheen compared to when it's in its raw form. But the liso and the Smart base are very different finishes. You can decide which one you like for which application. We did a bit of both here.
Yeah, we think. I mean, we did at least, and we love it. And it certainly holds up nice, but the more sealer you put on, the more the Smart varnish that you put on, the more waterproof and the more sealed this stuff is going to get. So it's, less prone to getting stains. It's obviously more waterproof. We were really worried about that in the shower area and on the floor. We were not nearly as worried about that on the walls of the bathroom itself.
So we didn't really talk about it too much, but we also did a treatment on the floor, which I think is, again, another really cool purpose of this, the Microcement application, is that you can really do an entire space and it's going to hold up. A lot of the finishes that we've shown before look great, but you probably wouldn't want to be stepping on them or putting water or anything like that on them. This is a durable finish that you can literally do an entire room.
Absolutely. So we put the final touches on the bathroom and things really started to come together. We added a few other white elements to complement the bathroom, the bathtub, put some color matched silicone around the tub. I was super jazzed about
you were
that.
fired up about that.
I thought I was going to ruin it, but I didn't because I put tape down. Steve put in this fancy vent.
That's for another day. We should talk about the fact that when you're removing the tape, once the product's dry on the tape that you're using to protect, we found it really beneficial to run a blade and cut that seal first so that you're not ripping off any big chunks of cement. Maybe that's better left for...
Well, you said it anyways, and they're just watching the final product. So now you can see that it's fully waterproof in the tub area. No reason to be concerned about this mold and mildew. This stuff's supposed to last a really long time. You can always put another coat of sealer on if you need to, but it worked really well for us, and we hope it works well for you because it looks great. It was pretty easy to do, pretty DIY friendly, and yeah, thanks for watching.
That was nice. I liked how you gave them hope.
Yeah, well, like and subscribe.
Mash that bell. See you later.